Hey, baby.
Hey, hon, how you doing?
Oh, I can't complain. Everything cool. How you and your mentals?
I'm doing pretty good today. I'm pretty excited. I'm glad we get this just us time before we, start full force into our podcast. And I just find it interesting in regards to our topic today of, that YouVersion Bible app that we have on our phones. Right. And, it has the verse of the day. Well, I noticed that all last week, all of the verse of the days talked about hope, which is reflecting on, what our topic is about today.
Right.
Like starting with Wednesday, it said, 1 Peter 3:15, instead, you must worship Christ as Lord of your life. And if someone asks about your hope as a believer, always be ready to explain it. I find that was a good one. Yeah. As well as Thursday, the very next day, it also talks about hope. It says Hebrews 10:23, let us hold tightly without wavering to the hope we affirm, for God can be trusted to keep his promises. And then Friday, Psalms 147:11. It says, know the Lord's delight is in those who fear him, those who put their hope in his unfailing love. And then Saturday, it was 1 Corinthians 13:13. 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. So it's just like, in regards to our topic today, God is like
trying to tell you something.
Okay. Is he like trying to tell us something about hope, or is he trying to tell us something about hope?
Right. And you know what? I have to commend you for bringing this topic up, because, like I said, my definition of hope was totally different until I read the blog on the website. So I want to commend you on that. Now I even have to have a new mindset on the word hope, which changed my whole, I could say, lifestyle. I'm just like we said before. I'm trying to take the word wish out and use hope more often. So yeah, it's a good topic. I want to thank you for that.
Oh, I give God all the praise, because I believe that this is a word from God in regards to calling his people back to hope, and that either his people are not hoping or applying hope the way we should.
Right.
And so he's calling us to utilize that hope the way we're supposed to. So let's get into it.
I'm excited. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right.
It's that time again where we bring our thoughts to the threshing room floor, separating wasteful thinking from those thoughts that bring about fruitful living. Welcome to Sanctuary for Thought podcast. Let's get to it.
Welcome to the Sanctuary for Thought podcast. I am the co-host, Arnold Glass. The host has a Master of Arts degree from Liberty University and is a certified professional coach through the Certified Life Coaching Institute. Those are her professional credentials, but I believe in order to be a complete, well-rounded life coach, you have to have lived life. And this transformative thinking life coach definitely has. Without further ado, here's the coach that will drop gems this episode, Cassania Glass. What up, baby?
Hello, everyone. This is Cassania, your personal life coach here. You can all say you have a personal life coach if you are a follower and listener of this podcast, and I am that. Thank you so much for inviting us into your day and giving us a chance to bless you today. Our topic today is going to be on the topic of hope. HOPE. hope.
Before we go on, I always believe we got a short life to live, and I like to give flowers when I can. I always believe we have to give people their flowers while they're here on this earth. So I want to give my wife her flowers for coming up with this episode of Hope. Before this, I thought hope and wish were the same. You know how people saying you're hoping and wishing and hoping? But after reading her blog that she put out a week or two ago at the Sanctuary for Thought lifecoach.com website, it just changed my whole thinking on the word hope and how it correlates or different than wish. So once again, babe, thank you for opening my eyes for that. So let's proceed.
Well, I'm so glad that, that was the point of me writing that blog, because I think all of us have a different thought about what hope really is and what we expect out of hope. And I thought that blog would be a great eye-opener to those of us who really haven't done a deep dive into what hope is. Mm-hmm. We've heard the word over and over and over. It's mentioned multiple times in the Bible. It is said aimlessly around in our world. Mm-hmm. However, do we really understand what hope is? It really carries great weight, greater weight than we, I think, all realize it holds in us reaching our goals and us expecting from those wishes and dreams that we have. And I just thought that hope piece is something that we really need to expound on. Mm. You'll see a lot of businesses have the word hope in the business name. Mm. And that's because the word hope is weighty. It is something very profound if you really understand its meaning.
I agree.
So, definitely wanted to talk on hope early in our podcast, because I really had planned to put hope in the name of my business. That wasn't God's plan. So, yes, I'm glad that you got a lot out of it. I hope that other readers also got a lot out of it. You can always go to it if you haven't read it yet. We'll definitely talk on some points today in our podcast.
So, how did you come up with the topic of hope?
Well, that was asked of me through one of the questions that came through on our comments email line in regards to what made me think of that. And if you saw my marketing Instagram, I have the movie Wish had came out, so I put an X through the movie, the word wish, and I put hope instead. Change your wishing into hoping, and basically a lot of my passion and compassion for this calling of life coaching comes from my own past experiences, and throughout my life I have felt buried in hopelessness. It's almost where you felt like people looked at you like you were a hopeless case, and which affected my self-esteem. And I believe it really caused me to want to prove myself to others that I was better than what they thought, which caused perfectionism, which caused depression, and so on. And so I just always attributed trying to figure out what's wrong with me to lack of hope. I know when trying to figure out what was wrong with me and always crying on your shoulder before, and those I looked at in regards to those who have chosen to end their life, it always comes back where they just seem so hopeless. And I just always scream out to you, I just feel hopeless. And I just always attributed that to being the problem. There's the problem. That's the problem for those who choose to end their lives. That's the problem for me and my depression and the state that I was in, and my mindset that I was in as well. is just hopelessness. And I've come to understand that there's more to hope than what I actually understood it to be. And so when I went to do some research into the word hope, I was just like astounded. I took out my book and started doing research, and I was like, this is totally different than what I thought hope was about.
Correct.
This is not what I expected to hear what hope means. You know, there's a whole theory to hope if you don't know.
Right.
And so I was just like, okay, God, you know, what is it about this hope here? So I just felt that it was something that always was echoed as being a problem in my life, just being hopeless. And I felt like I was always searching for hope. I was in search of hope. I was looking for hope. And I think all along I had a misunderstanding of what hope really was. And maybe in some instances, I already was manufacturing or walking out what hope was, not really even knowing it.
Right.
We all just slam and sweep everything under the rug of hopelessness. And I think that's also swept under the rug for those that choose to end their life. We all just sweep it under the rug of hopelessness. And there's a lot more to it than just feeling hopeless. So I wanted to actually just put more of a highlight, a focus, a bright light on hope because of the weight that it carries, because hope is being filtered in when you don't even realize you're filtering it in. But how can you filter it in where it works the best and works out for you in the best ways and use it wisely? Some of us aren't using the tools and that which we have in the right way. So that's the reason, one of the many reasons why I decided to do hope.
Okay. Now, actually, give us the definition of the word hope.
Okay. All right. So I like to do a comparison of hope and wish because I think we use those two willy-nilly of each other. I feel like a lot of the hope that we're using out in the world is really wishing and not hoping. So let me first talk about wishing. Wishing is in the dictionary defined as wanting something that cannot or probably will not happen, or something that you can't attain or fulfill. Whereas hope is a feeling of expectation and a desire for certain things to happen. What hope is also is defined as involving expressing a desire for something, but with the expectation of attaining it or fulfillment. So let's think about if we use these two words, and I'll talk about in the blog about juxtaposition of these words together. If I'm using something in regards to hope and wish, one talks about getting fulfillment, and the other talks about not getting fulfillment, not expecting a fulfillment of it, not expecting to even attain it. So if you look at and you substitute wish in place of hope, then you have lost hope altogether.
Right.
You have lost the hope of even attaining something or getting fulfillment from something or attaining a dream or desire. You have lost hope. Hope is all gone. It's all blown out the room with the word wish, because wish says, I've already know that I'm not going to attain it. I already know that I'm not going to get it. So why should I? And think about that. If you wish on something that you know you're not going to get, are you going to put any effort? Are you going to put any effort behind it? Is there going to be any type of energy put behind that dream or desire if you consider it a wish that you will not ever attain? So I like to because it gives so much more weight when I use wish and hope together. And when I put hope on a platform in regards to you will attain it, you are expecting to attain it, you are expecting fulfillment of that dream. That means you're going to put a little bit more energy behind it. You're going to put a little bit more of yourself behind it. You're going to lean into it a lot more than you would a wish. So hope is the desires that you have, feeling the expectation from the desires of certain things that you expect to happen, or fulfillment from those desires of certain things you want to happen. So that's just the general definition of what hope and wish are. However, hope contains a lot more behind it than just that. And I like to bring in, part of what I am bringing into my discussion today is a little bit of that hope theory. We can substantiate a lot of what the Bible is expecting us to do through hope. And that with that hope theory carries behind it willpower and way power. So we'll talk about that a little bit more as well. But I do want to just get the idea out here that hope is the expectation of the fulfillment of a desire or something that you're willing or wanting to happen.
So let me ask you this. I came up with this concept of hope is important because it makes the present moment less difficult to bear. If we believe that tomorrow will be better, we can bear a hardship today. So that as long as you got something to look forward to, you can deal with what you're dealing with right now. You agree? It's a goal. What you think about that?
Yes, you are very correct in regards to, if we look further into the definition of hope, it incorporates goal setting in hopes, because basically hope is the idea that you are focusing on a goal, a desire to achieve something. And with that, to enable yourself to achieve that goal, you're going to have a pathway in mind as well as the willpower to achieve that goal. So basically the pathway is identifying your way towards the goal, and the willpower is basically the mental energy that you'll need to actually achieve that goal. So in regards to hope is always applied to a goal. I read in one of the books that talks about hope theory, they use hope as the van. Okay. Hope is the van and the destination is goal.
Right.
Okay. You're in the van. Right. We put the family in the van. We're putting all our luggage in the van. And the van has on the side hope. It's the motto hope from the company Hope. It's the brand Hope. Right. And so we are driving down to get to the goal. Hope always has a destination. That's the point here. And it rides on the road of pathways. It doesn't just go ambiguously somewhere. It takes a pathway, a certain path to its goal. And it's fueled
it runs the engine off of the willpower.
Right.
Which is your mental energy, which is your determination. So that is actually what hope is. Hope is how you get to that ending goal. Hope should always have a goal, an aim.
I agree.
It should not be willy-nilly out here. You know what I'm saying? It always should have an end point to it. You know, my hope is for everyone just to love one another. I just want everyone to love one another. Is it a hope or a wish? What's your pathway to it? How you gonna make sure we all love one another? Okay, I hear you. And do you have the mental stamina? I always say stamina.
Yeah.
Stamina. Do you have the mental stamina to obtain such a goal?
Right.
You know, and that's the thing about hope is, you know, many of us have, if I go back to those days where I was depressed and I just told you, I just feel hopeless. I feel like I can't do this. Many of the time, it was not the fact that I didn't have a pathway, and maybe I really was hopeless. And it really wasn't the fact that I didn't have a pathway or way to the goal. I just didn't have the mental stamina.
Fortitude.
Stamina. I didn't have the mental stamina down the pathway.
Right.
So I wasn't hopeless if you scored me right. I really didn't have the hope. I didn't have the mental stamina. Stamina. I shouldn't use
Stamina.
Stamina. I shouldn't use that word, but no. I didn't have. It's perfect word actually because I didn't have it. I knew the pathway to it, but every time an obstacle came, it zapped me of my mental stamina. So really, in all truth, I was hopeless. I was lacking. I was lacking in that side of hope. Many people have the desire and the go get 'em spirit, but they don't have how we gonna get there. I don't know how we gonna do it, but we gonna find a way. We gonna find a way. We gonna find a way. Those people are also lacking in hope, but they're not lacking in the mental side of the hope. They're lacking in the actual way of reaching the goal. They are lacking in the roadmap to it. They're lacking in the actual plans, the strategies to it. So we can actually say people are hopeless when they have the mental fortitude, but they don't have the strategy, the pathway to it. And we can say, but we're so easy to define someone being hopeless when they don't have the mental capacity. Hope carries with it two sides. It carries a way to it, and it carries the mental capacity to it.
This is Cassania of Sanctuary for Thought Life Coaching, your transformational thinking life coach, here to invite you to allow me to partner alongside of you as we generate self-awareness and inner growth by identifying mental strongholds, limiting beliefs, self-sabotaging habits, revealing inner potential within that is necessary in moving towards your personal goals, vision, and purpose. This alliance contributes greatly to your personal self-development in the following areas: self-awareness, mindfulness, personal growth, improved clarity, new perspective, positive thinking, and thriving mindset. Visit me at sanctuaryforthoughtlifecoach.com. Book a free discovery call today.
It's that time of year. And yes, we have holiday sales for you too. Gift yourself life coaching sessions here with Sanctuary for Thought Life Coaching. Here's your opportunity to start out the new year with a new mindset and a new life coach. Here at Sanctuary for Thought Life Coaching, we are offering an additional 20% off all life coaching sessions. That includes our packages, which are already discounted at a 20% off rate. You will be able to apply an additional 20% off all coaching packages as well. Reach out to us at Sanctuary for Thought for your free discovery call today so that you can make use of this holiday sale before the first of the year.
Hey, babe.
Hey, hon. You know what? I don't think people know we have a YouTube channel.
That's right. That's right.
Why don't you share it with them?
Okay, we'll do. If you're at YouTube, go to the search bar and put in at Sanctuary for Thought Podcast, and there we are.
Yes. You'll be able to see all of our prior podcasts as well as any funny uncuts that didn't make it to the podcast.
And while you're there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, please be sure to subscribe so that you'll get the notifications of any new uploads from us. God bless.
God bless.
Hope carries with it two sides. It carries a way to it, and it carries the mental capacity to it. But it also has to have a destination, a goal. It cannot just float aimlessly. Hope has to have an end point. Where is it focused? That means that is the reason why hope becomes so much more powerful than wishing. Hope has so much power than wishing because if I was to meet both ends of those points, the willpower and the way power, the road path, the strategy, nothing could stop me. That's all the energy. It's like a laser. It has now been focused on my end goal. And that's what makes hope's definition different from wishing. Mm-hmm. Wishing does not carry with it the way power. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it doesn't carry the mental power either. Either way, it can become a wish. To me, that's not true. Let me go back because there is a quote where someone says, and I got to find who this is that says it, that says, willpower without a roadmap or without a pathway to it is simply just a wish. Mm-hmm. Because you're not going to ascertain it. You're not going to be able to be laser focused. You're not going to be able to focus all the energy, the physical and the mental energy in the same direction. You got the mental energy, but you got the physical energy all over the place because it doesn't know where to aim itself, on what pathway to take, on what strategies to take. So that's what makes wishing unattainable, because there's not a laser focus on one end point of both your mental and your physical capacities to go get to the end points. Mm-hmm. So with that, it carries no power, carries no energy.
Yeah, that's the concept I came up with when I did the research on that. Wishing has no action behind it. It's something that you thought of, something that you wish or desire to have, and it's like sitting right there. Whereas hope has a goal at the end where you can aim at, put your effort in, and just like you said, with the willpower and the strategy, the plan to go forward to reach that goal, you got to put forth an effort. So if you don't have the effort or the plan or the willpower, like you said, to reach that goal is just a wish.
Let's talk about that a little bit more.
Okay.
And when we get into the next question that you have.
Okay.
So, we had another question that I think would be great to interject here now.
Okay, here it is right here. The question is, can a wish turn into can a wish turn into hope? And can hope turn into a wish?
So can a wish turn into a hope? Can a hope turn into a wish? I believe that yes, and yes. We talked about turning hopes into a wish into a hope. I hope we did. And but how a hope turns into a wish is, I think when we just talked about it now is like just kind of, just starting to feel spent, in one direction or another, reaching obstacles and barriers. I know in one of the questions it was like, how do you know when your hope is a wish and it's like delusional?
Right.
You reach the delusional zone of hoping something to come to manifest and come to fruition. I think what we need to do is there's times where we should not just have one hope going on. We should have various domains going on with hope, meaning hope in our family, hope with our relationships, hope with our businesses, hope with our finances, hope with our community, hope with our social group, hope with our church, and that way you can take a step back when you're reaching barriers or something is just too much to handle and you're feeling like, okay, I'm losing it for this. This is turning into a wish. I think there's times where you need to step back from that particular hope and focus on something else. Take a breath.
I can see that.
Come back with a fresh pair of eyes. And maybe even bring it to someone. You have to be careful who you share it with, though.
I was going to say.
But rest it on your, if you don't have an altar or, something, a prayer box or something in regards to your faith, whatever faith you have, whether a prayer box or a candle, whatever, I say I have an altar here and a prayer box. And I just would lay it here on the altar before God, pray over it, and just say, okay, God, I'm going to lay this on the altar, and I'm going to pray for a fresh pair of eyes to come back to it. And I want you to let me know if I need to revamp my goal or whether or not I need to toss it or whether or not I need to revamp my strategy. And sometimes that's just what you need to do. You need to just step away for a moment. Or you may need to ask someone that you are very close, is very trustworthy. Don't go out there asking 10 people.
Right.
Don't go out there doing a survey monkey. Was it monkey survey monkey?
Something like that, yeah, survey monkey.
Don't go out there doing that.
Right.
Just go out there to someone very, close, that can hold the vault and ask them. Give them your 2 cents. But sometimes, be ready to, what you always say, chew the meat and spit out the bones.
Correct.
Because there may just be the fact that you just need to revamp it a little bit here.
Agreed.
God is in the revamping of our hopes and dreams. And, he's really good at revamping it and cutting away the how you want to say, pruning. Pruning away things that's like, oh, I thought that's what I wanted, but this is cool.
Right.
Okay, I didn't know that this is what you meant by this, but okay, because he knows what motivates us. He knows what gets us going. So he'll let that part of the vision or the goal stay there in front of you for a while, and then he'll say, okay, clip.
Right.
You're in it. You're secured in it now. You have faith to see this through. You have faith in what you're believing in. you got to the point of belief. Because sometimes God has to get us to a point of believing first to be able to muster up enough hope and will and determination and commitment to staying the path to fulfilling a dream or goal, So that faith is that there's that faith part that's needed too, is that faith of belief in what you're doing and belief in what you're going towards.
And yes, people, she does have a physical altar. She has multiple altars, and that should be another that should be an episode.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So I just want to let you know she ain't just talking the talk; she walking the walk.
Definitely. I got my altars. I got my blanket here. I sleep at my altar and let God manifest there and talk to me.
That's a good episode.
Oh yes. I have to bring people in on that one. That one's good. That's going to be a long one there.
Yeah.
So one of the questions were regarding that faith piece, faith versus belief and so on and so forth. So faith, remember, is that reliance. It's that trusting piece. It's that confidence piece. Your faith is your reliance on it being true. You rely on it. Not that you just expect it. You rely in it. That's what I am putting my commitment on. Remember, faith is important along with hope. And I think we intermingle those a lot.
Yeah.
Faith and hope a lot. We never dismantled it like we're doing right now.
Right. Hun, I think this is the perfect place to end part 1 of Hope. We got so much to talk about. Let's just save it for the next time. What you think?
I think that's perfect because I really do not want anyone to miss out on the points that we are bringing forth in this podcast about hope. I really don't. So yes, I think that's a good idea. Let's set up for a part 2 on this.
Okay. Perfect.
I want to thank everyone for taking their time out today to listen to our podcast about hope. I pray that you sense the call to action on this topic of hope here. It's not just for these holidays and this holiday season. It's for the way we're supposed to live out our lives. So I definitely want this conversation to continue. So check out the blog on hope as well. That gives some points here that we talked about today. Share with a friend, family, colleagues, and keep this conversation going. Go to my website, sanctuaryforthoughtlifecoach.com, and you can go to the podcast and blog section, and you'll see that the Hope blog is featured for this week here. So take a look at it. If you have any questions or comments regarding our podcast, please send them to us at comments@sftlifecoach.com. And also, if you're interested in any one-on-one life coaching with me or group coaching you want to set up, feel free to reach out to me at info@sftlifecoach.com. Subscribe and like and share this podcast as well.
All right. And I'm going to give you the socials to Sanctuary for Thought. Or you can follow Sanctuary for Thought Life Coaching on social media. Facebook at Sanctuary for Thought Life Coaching. Twitter, better known as X, at SFT_life_coach. Or on Instagram, SFT_life_coach. And as always, as my wife be dropping gems every episode, I always ask her to let me get a chance to throw some quotes at y'all. Is that all right?
Yes, please do.
Okay. I got 2 of them. One is from Joseph Addison, an English poet, and it goes, 3 grand essentials to happiness in this life are something to do, something to love, and something to hope for.
I like that.
Hey, thank you. And the second one is from Samuel Smiles. I love his last name, Smiles. British author. He says, hope is like the sun, which, as we journey towards it, casts a shadow of our burdens behind us.
Oh, come on with it.
I try.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much. Thank you for dropping those gems here through those quotes to us. Love them. Always love when you give us a quote to kind of wrap up everything. And thank you, everyone, again, for opening up your time to us in this podcast. Hopefully you've been blessed. Hopefully it was eye-opening. And we look forward to seeing you again. And I always want to leave you with, always remember the way you think determines the roads that you take, which are actually driven by the decisions you make. God bless.
God bless.
I do want to remind you that I am a professional life coach, a transformational thinking life coach. I aid people in moving forward in their lives. I am not a therapist, mentor, or counselor. If you want more details about life coaching, please go to our first episode, Season 1, for more details.